Lucky Boys Podcast.
What was the pledging like?
Pledging.
Was it hard?
It was like a full-time job in addition to being a student. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was hard.
On a scale like 1 to 5, 5 being the hardest.
I would give it a. So I pledged twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
She was really
okay.
committed, guys. She was really committed. By the way.
I'm so embarrassed.
Did you realize that we were going to be talking about this? No. When you woke
Did
up
not
this
mentally
morning?
prepare myself
From your
for
hang
this.
this
I didn't even know you guys were part of a sorority.
I know,
Yeah.
it's-
No, my class. The first time I pledged, my class dropped, and so they didn't want
Couldn't cross
crossing
class
as
of
like a
one.
one-person
Right.
class.
Makes sense.
So I pledged again the second, the semester following. For me, it was like a 4.2 the first time, and then like a 4 the second because I'd already done it.
That's
But
pretty accurate.
it only went
4.2.
down 0.2, guys. It only went down 0.2 though. That's what you need to take from this. That She knew what was happening, and she still thought it was a 4. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because you're working with an entirely different group of girls,
fair.
so you different.
That is
different
true. It
challenges.
depends who's pledging
Yeah,
you.
and
Yeah.
I was the
Yeah.
oldest in my class too, so I was a junior by the time I crossed, and so a lot of my class were
Younger.
young,
Yeah.
freshmen, sophomores. I was past the partying like stage of my freshman sophomore years, and so I
You
just
got it
wanted
out your
to,
system.
yeah, I just like wanted to get it done, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, and disclaimer though, the process probably may have changed since when we were.
yes,
Yes,
It definitely probably
that's
has.
that's the disclaimer right
It
now before we get
absolutely
yelled at.
has.
If anyone on that board is reading this right now.
No, it definitely has. And I was part of that team that helped to implement those changes because we did need to make sure that our members are safe,
Right.
that,
Some reform going on.
yeah, that the experience is haze free,
Right.
because things really did get out of hand at
Oh,
some
yeah.
point. Like
Oh, yeah.
not even that long ago, I think there's, you
Yeah.
know, unfortunate deaths out
Right.
of pledging and hazing.
Where someone got either I think from drinking or physical hazing where they
The one that I'm thinking of was physical hazing. And that's just it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why for us too, we had to ensure that the changes we were making didn't
that
even
happened here in the
allow-
city, right?
Yeah, I think it happened here in the
All right,
city,
so we're talking about the same
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
where you can't even come close to having a scenario like that because it's just
No, you
not
can't.
worth it.
Can't.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to proudly say you're a part of this
Yeah.
organization
Yep.
instead of, oh snap, like
Trying
I
to
don't want to
defend,
put my
yeah.
name on this and be associated with that
Yep.
time, even though it could be generations apart. You still wouldn't want to associate yourself with something that negative.
Yeah.
It's damaging.
Something that you contributed to pretty much or experienced
Yeah.
yourself. So.
I mean, we made a lot of reform.
I think,
when-
I think
as
that
well.
incident that we're talking about did make all the organizations
Yeah.
kind of
Yep.
take a step back
Yeah.
and reevaluate everything. So I'm glad that happened.
Even before that happened, it didn't take that for
Not the
for
incident,
me.
but-
I said, "What tradition?" I was like, "Well, this is whack." I was like, "No." I said, "I'm going to change it."
Because you guys were
literally took it out.
relatively. When
We're
were
young.
you guys? Yeah.
We're
when
young.
were you
I
guys
think
chartered?
94
Oh, okay.
was it?
Yeah, 94.
That's
I
not,
think
I mean, we were
Why do I
90, so-
remember that? Holy crap!
Forever ingrained in
Forever
your
I
brain.
know,
ingrained.
right? Yeah.
I
You guys
still know our sorority songs. Well,
Yeah.
all right, I need to stop. I need to stop talking about this because this is just embarrassing. And also for my class that may eventually listen to this and be like, "This is classic,
Jennifer.
Well, you guys aren't saying anything that's giving anything away.
No. Just in
I
terms
would,
of the enthusiasm for it, because they always like kind of poke fun at me as being the one that it freely speaks about how proud I was of that experience.
Go for it.
It's
Go
not.
for
It's
it.
not
No
cool
one's
to be
doing
this
it.
proud, Jen.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, but
Complete
it
kidding.
really did change my life in a very positive way because of
That's beautiful.
the friendships. I met my husband through the
Yeah.
Greek network, and so I had absolutely no regrets. But the concept of Greek fraternal life has ways to go to change. It is interesting because seeing it from the outside now, not being super active in the organization, you see that they're also making a lot of changes to make sure that it's inclusive for all members.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even with us, we have we're Asian interest fraternity, but we have so many people that aren't Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
there.
diverse.
A
Yeah.
very diverse group, and we're so close to them.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
we always say we're not inclusive or Asian interest, not
Yeah,
Asian.
not Asian exclusive.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the phrase.
So how was pledging for you? Was it like a, what, 2?
Two. It was a 2. No, it wasn't. No, it was a
Was it a
4.
4.2?
It was a 4, but not a
Was it a
4.2.
4.25?
I'm not sure where the 0.2 came from, but no, I would.
You should
say
appreciate that. You're an accountant.
Oh no, mad
Fractions.
respect. Mad respect. I'm just curious as to.
Why?
But yeah, I also I like to understand stuff, so you'll have to tell me offline. But,
Okay.
no, I mean it was hard. I mean it was really like balancing at least like 2 more courses, I would say.
Yeah.
And then I was one of the few that managed to do it and keep my GPA up, and not to humble brag or anything. But then after that, they kept using me as like look, you can pledge and still have a 4.0.
Here is the-
yeah,
here's
you know
the
what
standard.
I mean?
You have to
get
keep.
one.
It's the same
Exactly.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's the same everywhere.
And there's one golden child, and they had to put me there. So then I was like, keeping my head down the entire
Meanwhile,
time.
everyone else got like borderline about to get kicked out of
Yeah,
school.
it did not do. I will say, on average, most people's GPAs do drop though. So.
Mine dropped.
Yeah.
I was under a 1.0 my first.
Wow.
When I pledged, I was under a 1.0. It was taxing.
Yeah.
It was taxing.
Well, I was a junior when I pledged, so I was doing an average. So I did well in my first, couple years.
years.
Uh-huh.
And then I knew that, I can let this
You
one
have
go.
room. You have room
I
to
can let
fail.
this one go. Because I was trying really hard to keep it up, but obviously it is
Yeah.
like a full-time, part-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to, but I knew, dollar
room.
average cost, dollar average, dollar cost averaging. Is that how do you?
Ask this one.
Sure.
No, okay. Well, I knew that if I, average wise,
Yeah.
I was going to keep myself up. So
Right.
So you did it that way.
I did the math.
Very, very solid. But no, I mean, I'm trying to think of also. We had a class of 8, and so
Oh, wow.
that there's a bit of a diversity there as well. So just making sure everyone's schedules linked up. That part was hard, making sure everyone was contributing and no one was slacking off.
See, I think with a larger class, it's easier. And here's why.
All right, I was gonna say, let me.
Here's why. Because you could slack off. As long as you're not the weakest link, you could slack off a little bit. For example, if, let's just say I had to do push-ups.
For example,
Hypothetically.
hypotheticals is all being used.
Right?
Sure.
So let's say I had to do push-ups, and I'm Norm and like, I don't know, 6 other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say Norm and I are crushing it, but we're not the strongest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones are just terrible. They're going to focus on the terrible guys. And so we get to kind of cheat when they're not looking and just kind of chill. When they look back, we're like, oh, yeah.
I see.
Crushing it.
But and here's the other side. If you have a class of 8, and let's just say hypothetically, you just had to keep being around there until everyone got it right. You have that means you have 8 people getting stuff
that's
all
right.
right.
Time
That's right.
wasted.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
you've got longer.
You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Exactly. And so with 8, hypothetically, you could be out until like 6, 7 a.m. and then, so
Purely hypothetical.
so there are
Because we
there are
never saw the
disadvantages.
sunrise.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
You know what though, for real? There was this one time. There was this one time at work where I was doing a coverage report for like this product launch that we had, but the product launch was in China, so I had to do my hours at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to work. No lie,
Are
like
you saying
the
KD5
resilience,
helped you?
yeah, the type of the stuff that we did at KD5, I was like, this coverage report is like a walk in the park for me.
Been there, done it.
Yeah, because I'm used to doing
You're used to
things
staying up.
at weird hours and like pressure testing myself. And so you build like that thick skin, resilience, and all that good stuff. So it was priming us so that everything else following would be like a walk in the park.
Hey, that explains why you both have a full-time job and you can still balance your personal lives with that in addition to Welcome to Chinatown.